The story of the Society for the Involvement of Good Neighbours, or more commonly known as SIGN, started 50 years ago. 4 members of the Yorkton clergy, Father Paul St. Pierre, Reverend Jack Jones, Reverend William Shank, and Reverend Roland Wood, came together to develop an organization that would reach the community in a way that was beyond what was possible by the individual churches. They wanted an organization that was involved in community, looking at the issues that individuals and families were facing, and to provide supportive programming to assist. On May 1st, 1969, SIGN officially opened its doors to provide supportive services. The name Society for the Involvement of Good Neighbours invokes the message of being a good neighbour, someone that is there to help, support, and talk to. Although this story of SIGN started 50 years ago, we are excited for our future. We know the success over the past 50 years was due to the leadership, dedication, and commitment of staff, board members, and community partners.
We moved to Yorkton in 1971, and I knew about SIGN through my work with social services, but in about 1975, our eldest daughter went to the SIGN daycare. Through that, I got on the board of directors of the daycare, and through that, I got on the board of directors of SIGN for perhaps 6 years or so. And then the position of executive director came open, and some staff in the building were urging me to think about applying, and I did, and that led to a 14-year career as executive director at SIGN, and that wound up about 2009, I think. I was at SIGN 14 years, and each year I was here, there were 2 to 3 programs that we were involved with in some way. Going way back to even before I was at SIGN, myself and the then executive director, we negotiated development of the family support program. So this would have been somewhere between 1985 and 1989, and that program still remains today. It has kept literally hundreds of children from coming into care, has helped parents to become more effective parents, has been an amazing program. So that was, I think, a great success.
So I got involved with SIGN when I first moved to Yorkton. I'd only been here a couple of months, and I ran into an individual that I knew who happened to be on the board of SIGN, and I was looking for an organization to get involved in, and he said, "You need to come join our board," and that's how I knew nothing about SIGN, and that started probably a 15-year journey of being involved with SIGN. This opportunity to take on the Travel Lodge was just kind of fell out of the sky. The Ramies got in touch with Tom Seeley, who was the executive director at the time, and said, "I want to give this building away, and I'd like you to have it."
I had a couple of meetings with the then owners of the hotel, John Remy and his wife Sonia. And then one day I got a call that they wanted to meet with me. It was about 11 o'clock in the morning. I had another meeting to go to, but I thought maybe I should go to this one just to see what's up. They sat me down in the boardroom downstairs in this building and said, "Tom, we are thinking about divesting some of our holdings, and the one in Yorkton here is the one we'd like to divest ourselves of. We've done some research on you and on SIGN, and we'd like to donate this building and all its contents to your organization."
So that began a long process of probably a year and a half of due diligence. Well, not everyone agreed that it was something we should do, but in the end, our board agreed that and saw a vision for this building being kind of a center for community services in Yorkton, and that's what it's become.
I came to SIGN in 1980. I was recruited by a fellow by the name of Elton Davidge, who was the CEO at the time, and Wick Howland, who was on the board. And they'd offered me this wonderful job that they said would pay me probably a guarantee of at least 1 year at a time, but nonetheless got involved and was there for 10 years. I think the reality has been, for an organization like SIGN, there are few, if any, left of organizations like this. People had a vision, they had a dream. I mean, and that's partly why I came, is that the people who were involved in working with SIGN at that time, they had a broader vision. They could see that they could impact a community, a region, things within the province from within. And that's an important piece. And SIGN's lived that dream. For 50 years they've been living that dream, expanding, growing, developing.
At some point in time, I decided to start attending the annual general meetings, so I believe through the Housing Authority would have got an invitation and going up to the annual general meetings. And one of our current board members, Donna Coleman Tremblay, who was chairperson at the time, said, "Oh, well, would you be interested in being on the board?" And that's where that came from, is that direct invitation from a long-serving board member. I really think the biggest value is that I've come to appreciate the broad number of services, the partnerships, the networking in the community, and that whole desire to help people who need support and services in the community. It's certainly been the dedicated and the caring staff, I think, that really make it happen. And I've had some opportunity to meet some staff and to have some conversations with staff. You can just tell that the people are so interested in that concept of caring for people and looking after people. Throughout history and all civilizations, there's always people in need, needing some support and needing services. And I would expect the clergymen at that time would have been providing services to people in their congregations and through the churches. I think it was really visionary of them to say we need to come together as a broader community and work together to provide supports to all the people that are in need in the community and not just exclusively through the churches.
To say what my involvement and what I knew about Sign was the fact that there was a building called Sign on Broadway, and I drove by it on a regular basis but never went in. So in my connection with education, I had opportunity to make very minimal connection with Sign programs. So to say I knew anything about Sign, it was that building on Broadway. I think when I came to Sign just over 3 years ago in my current role, I was blown away to the extent that Sign provides supportive programs for the community. It went way beyond Sign on Broadway to Sign as a community organization in Yorkton and area, providing 20 plus programs from all ages, from young children to seniors and everything in between. So it was truly amazing the extent to which Sign provided programming. Sign on Broadway itself is a unique setup in terms of Sign programs. I like to refer to it as a one-stop shop, so to speak. If we have clients coming into the program in need of various supports, we can take them from door to door to door to do an in-house referral.
So Triple P is an internationally acclaimed evidence-based parenting program, the multi-level system of interventions that are aimed to promote positive caring relationships between parents and child. So we offer different levels of intervention, that everything from a one-on-one support to a large group seminar type environment to very topic specific discussion groups into larger group programs, and we currently serve for parents with children 0 to 16. So it's in 25 different countries. Been in Canada for about 12 years, and we're just finishing up our 5th year here in the province of Saskatchewan. When we started, we were just basically offering kind of that one-on-one support and the larger seminar programs for parents of children 0 to 12. We very quickly, by the end of our 1st year, were given Port Qu'Appelle as part of our service area. So that made our service area quite large. And then we realized that parents were wanting more. So we brought in some discussion groups and some group programs for those parents. And then we moved on to, we heard the community was really wanting the parents were wanting some support for their teenagers. So then we brought in our teen program. And then most recently we were able to bring in what's called the Stepping Stones. And the Stepping Stones is a program that is geared towards parents with children with a disability or very severe behaviors. Since inception, we've been able to support about 800 families, little over 800 families with their parenting journey. I think because these little people don't come into the world with a handbook that says, here's everything you need to know about me until I turn 16, for starters, and I think that because it's an evidence-based program, so parents are a little bit more receptive to the fact that there's research to back it up. It wasn't just a group of people that just sat down and said, hey, let's develop a parenting program. We've actually had parents go on and read the research and before they registered for a class, so that's been really insightful for them. And I think that it allows parents, when we look at the child protection aspect, it allows parents to most of the time have those unsupervised visits with their children and work towards that reunification and actually be reunified and keep that family unit together.
How would someone access this program?
So we do accept referrals from agencies, but I think the most common, most beneficial way is just to have families call, and that is the majority of the families that do access our program are phoning us. They can call, they can text, they can email, They can go on our Facebook page. There's a provincial website as well that they can fill an online form that comes to myself, and then I would touch base with them, which is where they can also access the Triple P online if they can attend a class of any sort. I really feel that with our group program specifically, within by the end of our first session, which is about 2 hours, we see changes in those parents already. They're having those aha moments, and the fact that they come in thinking that their child has all these negative behaviors and we need to change them, and they very quickly realize that there's changes that they need to do themselves, that then they'll see these changes in their children. So, I mean, we definitely see that right off the get-go. We definitely see a change. Families will often come in with high levels of depression, anxiety, and stress, the parents, which then trickles down to their children and their household. And again, by the end of that 8-week program, we see some significant changes in those levels for them. We do a lot of work out at White Spruce, our correctional facility just outside of Yorkton, and we almost always have at least one dad from that program coming back with their significant other when they're released. So I think that speaks volumes too, that it meant a lot to them to access the program, that they wanted to share that with their partner and take it again, which is something that we welcome, of course. So we definitely see a lot of changes in our families throughout a variety of different of our programs.
Yorkton Family Resource Centre is a stimulating environment for families who want to play, learn, and interact together. We offer free quality programs and services throughout the centre at no cost, so that there are no barriers for families. We want children to access those quality programs and services so that they have the best start in life. We kind of follow the programs that we offer. Really, the families that are utilizing the centre, that's where my role comes in. I'm receptive to what families are interested in learning about, and that's kind of what we make it happen. We want to follow the child and the family where they're at. So following the child's lead will give them the best learning environment. So that's kind of what we'll focus on.
I'm Jennifer McDonald. I have a nearly 2-year-old next month and a 6-week-old. We just moved to Yorkton roughly a year ago, and it's been quite an adventure. We were in Southern Ontario. I stayed there for a year with my sister and her kids, helped her out, but my spouse's family is here, so we decided that it's time to come to Yorkton and settle our roots here. So we got a house and we're ready to get involved in the community.
I'm Megan Ryan, and I moved here 2 years ago. 2 kids, 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. My husband works for a train company, and we move a lot. So like 3 or 4 different places in the past 6 years. Eventually I found out about resource centers, but when I moved here I already knew that this is the place to come when you have kids and like you need to know anything about the area. So this was my first stop when I moved here.
When I was in Ontario, I knew that my mental health was something I was nervous about. I wanted to make sure that I had the support coming into Yorkton, so I actually just jumped online, did some research, and then I touched base with you first, Kim. You linked me to the rest of the community. I tried to get involved with quite a few programs because I was a nervous parent to begin with. And then again, the mental health. So I just wanted to make sure that I was doing the best for my family as I could. And as soon as I met the programs here, I knew that I would have to be here regularly.
The community kitchen, as you know, I really love. I've learned so many cheap ways to make meals for my family, and I am not a good cook. And my husband's been very pleased with my progress.
Another program that we got involved with that the Resource Centre helps with is I have my counseling through mental health here, and I can freely talk. The sessions can go as long as they need to, and my kids are being looked after. I can hear them if they need me, but generally they don't because everybody's amazing here.
We kind of share that, there's not just one parenting program you should take. You should have many tools in your toolbox. So the more tools that you can have in your toolbox, the more you're able to cope with different things and challenges along the way. It's for all families. Some of the stigma around is, it's only for low-income families. No, it's for all families. When you're a parent, you don't go home with a manual. Yeah, we get trained for our job. Parents don't get that training manual. So this is a place that they can come to and get support, and If we don't know the answer, we'll make sure that we direct them in the right way. The neat thing about the Resource Center is those different people coming together where they wouldn't maybe be a part in the community. They get to know through our groups and different things like that, and they recognize we really are alike. We are parents, we struggle, doesn't matter how much money you make, we struggle in different areas, and they know that we can offer support here.
Honestly, wherever I go, I'm telling people about the Family Resource Center because it's made such a difference in our lives.
I know coming here, if I'm bored or overwhelmed, there's lots of friendly people to talk to.
Being a good neighbor is really supporting families around you. I truly believe it takes a village to raise a child. I think being able to listen authentically to families about what they're going through, meeting them where they're at and not judging, really that's kind of where we get our inspiration.
I have a 6-week-old, as I mentioned, went into labor. Dad wasn't home. I did have caregivers set up, but she fell on ice that morning, couldn't come get my older one to help me. So I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I called the Resource Center and I said, this is my situation, and I have the option to bring my eldest into the hospital, but then the nurses are looking after my eldest. And Diane said, don't even worry about it. You bring Megan here. Shireen's gonna bring you to the hospital. I had a small window of panic, but honestly, once I made that phone call to the FRC, it grounded me. I knew what I can do. I knew my options, and I came and was received with open arms.
One of my key things when we started is it is important to build authentic, real relationships. And you have to be in this business that you care about people. We want families to know that. So even in training our staff and things like that, even if you're not good at names, what I want them to remember is the conversation that you had with that family. So if a child went to a Christmas concert or had surgery, next time, follow it up with them. How did that go? That's authentic and truly caring about someone's family.
They feel safe here. Moving around a lot, not knowing people, and not trusting a lot of people, coming here and knowing that I could leave my kids in another room and not worry about it, that was also huge for me.
It takes a village to raise a family, and there's so many articles about the absence of the village, but I feel like the village is being provided by the Resource Center.
They want families to be the best that they can be. So I think that is crucial because that's where my heart is, and I'm glad to be a part of that collaboration and making that change in this community and the province.
Well, when you think of Sign, it goes back 50 years, and of course, being in Yorkton for most of my life, I remember some of the originals like Elton Davidge and the people who put it together. And being a good neighbor means so much because it basically means looking after your neighbors, looking after your neighborhood, caring about your community, and those are all of the things that Sign have done for the city of Yorkton over the past 50 years. It's an organization that takes on things that a city or even a provincial government is really incapable of doing. The partnerships between Sign and the city and other groups in the community have been so important in looking after people who don't necessarily fit the cookie cutter mold of get out there, get a job, raise a family. There are folks who do struggle, and cities are not well equipped to deal with people who have special needs.
As we close the chapter on our first 50 years, we look forward to our next 50 years. Sign will continue to be involved in our communities, developing programming to meet the needs that we see. We are committed to working with our community and our partners to provide leadership, programs, and services that assist and support and empower children, adults, and families to achieve lifelong success, leading to strong and caring citizens and communities.